this week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Aimee, and Aimee is from Explora Journeys, and this is the first time I've had the opportunity to meet with Aimee, which is amazing, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about her brand. But when I do meet with her in the rest of the time, go back and look at our playlist because I make a playlist for each and every cruise line, and that way you can look back on all of the things that we've talked about, and you can just learn all about their great brand. So over to you.
Thanks, Kathleen. Thank you for having me today. It's good to see you again and in my new capacity. So I am here today to share with you a brand new cruise line. But we actually don't like to, ironically enough, we don't like to use the word cruise a lot in what we're doing because we really do believe with our name Explora Journeys, we are providing journeys. And I'm sure, Kathleen, you can agree that a journey can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. When you're choosing time to take off, everybody's time is precious these days, and especially those guests who are in the luxury world. And our brand is really focusing on a European luxury lifestyle brand. So when they do choose to take time, that time is very precious. And a journey that they might want to go on might be just a journey of discovery of yourself. It could be a journey of discovery with your partner. It could be a journey of discovery with your family and you want to visit a new destination. It could be as simple as taking a journey to really immerse yourself in spa and wellness. And we really believe that we can provide all of that. And it just so happens that we have brand new, beautiful ships that are part of that journey. So you'll hear us use the word journey quite more often than we actually use the word cruise. And I thought I'd set the stage because the word journey is in our name. So
that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, a little bit different. And we are definitely trying to do things a bit different than some of the other lines out there. And I thought I'd share just a few images with you as we talk along and share a little bit more about our brand. So our Explora Journeys brand is really a bold new vision for ocean travel. And as I mentioned, we don't think of ourselves as just a cruise line, but we do provide journeys. And we transform these traditional cruise perceptions into true ocean escapes and try to help guests discover really what matters most to them and reconnecting them to what matters most to them. And we like to call that the ocean state of mind. So as you learn more and more about our brand, you'll hear us hashtag ocean state of mind or OSOM. It's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, because we're trying to reconnect people with the ocean and things that mean and matter the most to them. But like I said, the ship is the conduit for the journeys that we're providing on this European luxury lifestyle brand. So we are actually building 4 ships, the first of which is called Explora I, and they will all be Explora 1, 2, 3, and 4. So very easy for everyone to recognize us as a new brand. We figured why not put the name of our ship or a name of our brand right on the ship for brand recognition. But you can see from this image, the ships really, they're all identical in shape and size, but they really do look like super yachts. They're being built in Italy by an architectural company called Fincantieri, and they are the premier super yacht builders in the world, luxury super yacht builders in the world. And I just love the back. The previous image that you saw was what we call our marina deck, where we'll have exclusive tendering for our luxury clients. So it's just very, very beautiful. We do have 461 all oceanfront, all terraced suites. And for those of you who have cruised before, I like to point out in this picture the location of the lifeboats, because oftentimes you'll have some of those terraces or verandas or balconies, as others call them. And we say terraces because they are quite large. So terraces typically make you feel like it's larger than a balcony. But anyway, the lifeboats and life rafts tend to cause you to have obstructed views. And because of where we placed our lifeboats and life rafts, those suites are not going to have obstructed views. So it's kind of interesting to point that out.
Yeah, that's perfect because when you're out on the ocean, you want to see, the horizon and the sea. You don't want to be looking at a lifeboat. That's really
And if you have a terrace, you're going to want to enjoy that terrace. And our terraces, like I said, they're quite substantial. They're big enough to have a table and chair. and then also a double day bed. And that's just in our lead-in suites. So we'll show a few more of our top
Mhm.
tier suites as we go along.
Yay.
But some statistics about the ship really quick that I love to share is that it is a 63,900 ton ship. So it's not your small compact luxury. It's
Mhm.
a bit larger luxury with those 461 suites. Now we do carry up to 900 guests total.
Okay.
And there are others in our subset because we would be comparable to the Crystal, the Regent, the Silver Sea, the Seabourn as far as all-inclusive luxury. But there are some in our subset that do have the same size of ship, but
Mhm.
they put about 1,200, 1,300 guests on board. So I'm pointing that out because we only have 900 guests on board. And as we built the brand, we actually had conversations with over 20,000 guests. And they were guests who were cruisers and non-cruisers. And out of those conversations, there were a few main themes that really drove us as we started to build the brand. And a couple of those were that the guests that wanted to experience a luxury line and a luxury lifestyle type line, they wanted space was their number one priority. Then they wanted choice, and then they also wanted privacy. And if you think about it, you really can't have choice without space,
Mhm.
and you can't have privacy without space. So
Right.
the fact that we have these larger ships and we are only putting 900 guests on board obviously lend to the space to guest ratio. And coming out of this pandemic, we know that that is even more important.
Mhm.
But what it's allowed us to do is it's allowed us to create larger suites. It's allowed us to create more options and choices for guests to have on board, which then spread the guests out and allow them to have more privacy on board as well.
Mhm.
So another great example, I love this artist rendering because on a ship of this size, we actually have 4 pools, and you don't normally find 4 pools on a ship of this size. We have 2 in the aft that you see here.
Mhm.
We also have in the center, there's a glass retractable roof with an indoor pool. And then in the very forward of the ship, we also have a pool as well. So lots of outdoor space.
Mhm.
At those pools, we have 64 cabanas, all inclusive for guests to enjoy. So it makes it feel a little bit more private, a
Mhm.
little bit more intimate when you are experiencing those pool locations. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a little bit about the drivers
Mhm.
of building our ships. And it looked like you maybe had a question, Kathleen.
No, I was going to say, I love that you have the covered over section for the pool because you're thinking, when you travel to some destinations, sometimes you have some, some poor weather or a bit of a cooler area. And I love that that's covered. That's
Yep,
amazing.
yep.
Yeah.
And even when we're in those cooler weather destinations, the pool is typically used and we just kind of change it up and give you blankets instead of towels. And we'll serve maybe a hot toddy instead of champagne. But
Mhm.
because we definitely want to make sure we have those outdoor spaces available to the guests. We're going to be going to some amazing destinations that are both warm weather and cold weather destinations. So having that outdoor space for guests to be outside and enjoying the scenery that they're going to be able to see is going to be very, very important while you travel on Explora Journeys. So,
Absolutely.
so then I mentioned the suites. Um, we have 307, well, we had 461 suites overall. So
Mhm.
371 of them are what we call our ocean terrace and our grand terrace suites. So you can see here, they're quite modern in look and feel, quite spacious. The lead in square footage on these suites is 377 square feet, and that does include the terrace.
Mhm.
These are the largest lead-in suites in the industry as far as square footage is concerned. And I always like to show this image because we have plenty of space when it comes to walk-in closet. And for us ladies, we've got the little dressing vanity here with the magnifying mirror. It's well lit,
Yeah.
so that we're out of the hair of our gentlemen friends if they need
Mhm.
to use the restroom while we're getting ready. We have our own separate spaces to get ready. So
Oh,
lots
that's
of
perfect.
space in these suites, very, very comfortable for our lead-in. And
Mhm.
another thing that I want to point out about our lead-in suites is we do have 82 of these that are adjoining. So while we are a luxury brand, we are targeting those guests that we would consider to be affluent, working, wealthy.
Mhm.
So we know that those affluent, working, wealthy guests do tend to have children a little bit later in life, and that affords them the ability to travel with their children. So
Right.
we definitely are equipped and would welcome families and multi-gen travelers on board.
Mhm.
And when doing so, these adjoining suites are really important because we don't have any quad capacity suites in our entry level. The capacity that we could allow would be 2 adults and 1 child. But if you do have 2 adults and 2 children, ages 2 to 18, you would need the adjoining suite here. And we always try to make one slightly bigger than the other when they're adjoining. And typically one will have a bathtub and the other will have a shower as well. And while we're on the topic of kids too, I think it's really important to point out that we will have a space built out on board for children and for kids programming. And I always find that that's really key because I started my career eons ago as a youth counselor on another line. And when I started, we didn't have dedicated space for children. So we were always trying to share the adult space and time everything around that. And I always felt that my job was one of the most difficult on board because not only was I pleasing the kids and trying to entertain them, pleasing the parents because, happy kids, happy parents, but I was also, more importantly, trying to please the people that didn't want to see the kids that were on board. So knowing that we have a space built out, I think is really key, especially in that luxury sector, because we know oftentimes there are guests that don't want to see the kids, but we do want to welcome families and multi-gen travelers on board. So I thought I'd point that out quick.
Yeah. Interesting. A little story on that one. One of our cruises that we had within the last, pre-pandemic, we were in the hot tub, my husband and I, just enjoying the nice bubbles, and in walks his child with an ice cream cone. And I thought, oh my goodness,
gonna fall.
So it's so nice to have a separate space where you're not really going to have that happening.
Yeah.
So that's
perfect. Yeah. And we don't anticipate that we're going to have hundreds of kids on board. I think it's going to be more like 10s and 20s. But when they are there, I think it's important to note that we're going to make accommodation for them, and they'll have just as great of a journey with us as their parents, and maybe grandparents or aunts and uncles might as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So from our ocean terrace suites, we then move up the ranks a little bit into our ocean penthouses suite, and they get slightly larger. So these suites definitely have more living space. You could easily have a 4-course meal served in your suite if you didn't want to go out for dining in the ship during the evening. These also, as you can see here, have a screen that will separate the sleeping area from the living quarters in case you have someone that likes to sleep in and that someone wants to get up and maybe enjoy a cup of coffee to start their day. You can see the terraces are quite a bit larger as well. Just a few more images of the ocean penthouses that we have on board. And those start at about 463 square feet and go up to 70 or 732. So you can see they get a bit larger.
And I love the color tones. Those are just beautiful. They're so
very
relaxing.
calming. Yeah, calming, relaxing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then our top suites are what we call residences. And I don't want people to think that, oh, can I buy a condo and just live on board? I mean, yeah, you can sail with us for an extended period of time. And we definitely want our suites to feel like homes. And I think the word residence makes you feel like you're more in a home than you would if we just said a suite. So our ocean residences are substantially larger. They start at 763 square feet and they go up to just over 1,600 square feet. So you can see they do get much more expansive from the living quarters as well as the suite sleeping arrangements. All of these suites will have king beds. And one thing to note about the ocean terrace suites too, they all have queen beds, but they're super queens. They're about 7 inches wider than a normal queen. So very spacious living spaces. In these ocean residences as well, they will have a dedicated butler in all the ocean residences in addition to the suite steward. And then all of their terraces have their own jacuzzi hot tubs on them as well. So a little bit bigger terraces, more space in the interior as well. And then the absolute creme de la creme, if you really, really, really want to pamper yourself, is the owner's residence. And we only have one of these on board. It is stunning. This is over 3,000 square feet, both the interior and the exterior. And I think what I love most about this suite is coming up in a couple of images, but this is the bedroom in this suite. The bathroom is huge.
Oh my goodness.
I know. You could spend a substantial amount of time in the bathroom.
I'm like, oh.
But wait for it. This is my favorite because the terrace on this suite spans the entire aft of deck 8. And you have your own plunge pool here, outdoor dining, outdoor living quarters. So beautiful, stunning place to sit and watch the seas go by as you travel on your journey with us.
And only having one of those, I mean, we have to make sure that our my clients book early because that's going to go fast. Wow.
Yes, only one. definitely be in high demand as well.
Yes.
And then I thought I'd share just a couple more artist renderings of our ship. So
Mhm.
this is our lobby and our lobby bar. And I think I would bet your bottom dollar that if some of your guests are watching this, if they would have just come in at this point of our conversation, they wouldn't even know that we were talking about a cruise ship.
Exactly.
They would probably say, "What hotel is that?" And
Yeah,
I
that's
want to go
exactly what
there.
I thought too. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, yeah, we're really trying to open up the idea of guests who maybe haven't cruised before,
Mhm.
understanding that a cruise could definitely be part of their vacation journey and come explore what we have to offer by way of journeys because we do offer a lot more choice and a lot more space and a lot more privacy. And we'll talk even more about that as we go through some of these other images. Our indoor pool that we talked about with the glass retractable roof has a
Beautiful.
very spa, serene
Mhm.
feel, but the pool is large enough that someone could do laps in it because we know that a lot of people like to use water as their exercise
Yeah.
vehicle. So we want to make sure that we have that available for guests as well. This is the aft pool, the infinity pool with those cabanas, just a little bit more up close look at what we have to offer there as well.
Yeah. Wow.
More
Wow.
and more images and artist renderings will be coming in the coming weeks. We actually
Mhm.
have some 360-degree imagery that actually makes you feel like you're in the ship. So best way to experience a ship tour of a ship that's not even built yet.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. I love technology, how it does that. That's fabulous.
I know we've advanced quite a bit. It's been very interesting building a cruise line during a pandemic and virtually. I think we're the first all cloud-based cruise line because we do have our headquarters is in Geneva.
Mhm.
I'm sitting in Seattle. My boss is in Miami, but we do come together daily thanks
Yeah.
to Teams and thanks to things like Zoom. And
Mhm.
we have all of our documents, all of our imagery, all of our presentations videos, all of that is shareable on the cloud. So we're very tech forward in our product. And
Mhm.
that's reflected in the onboard as well, because we are an all inclusive product.
Mhm.
So when you do sail with us, that includes all of your dining, all of your beverages, your gratuities, includes Wi Fi. And we don't just include surf and force you to upgrade if you want high speed, it's
Right.
surf and stream. And
Mhm.
something that I learned the other day from one of our ship architects is that in every single room, there will be a router. So it will be the highest speed internet that you can have at sea. Remember, we're building these from scratch. As you can
Yeah.
see here,
Mhm.
4 ships in total, one every year starting in 2023. So our first ship will sail on her maiden voyage, May 31st of 2023 from Barcelona.
Mhm.
And then we'll have a new ship every year, 24, 25, and 26. And just a little heads up, we do have an option for 2 additional. So it's very highly likely that we'll have 6 ships in our fleet when this is all said and done. So
Wow, that's coming out strong. That's incredible. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good.
we've talked a lot about the
Yeah.
hardware.
Mhm.
There are some other inclusions, like we have bottled champagne when you arrive at the destinations that we're visiting. We do city shuttles if we're not right in the city center, access to our spa and thermal area. So lots of inclusions. And as you get up in those suite ranks, like the residences, as I mentioned, will have even more exclusive access and
Mhm.
inclusions as well.
Yeah.
But you're probably wondering, where the heck are we going? We have these beautiful brand new ships
Mhm.
and something else that we had heard from those 20,000 guests that we talked to was that when they travel, they want to go slower and they want to get deeper into the destinations. I think coming out of the pandemic, I think we've all recognized that maybe ticking the boxes and that 1,000 places to see before you die kind of mentality
Mhm.
is gone by the wayside. It's more important to really slow down, decompress, and really understand what you're experiencing and maybe who you're experiencing it with a little bit
Mhm.
better. So we've really designed itineraries that do go to some of those iconic celebrated destinations, but also really hit some of those lesser known, off the beaten path, hidden harbors and ports of call that are going to allow you to really discover and immerse yourself. And
Yeah.
we're allowing you to immerse yourself because we are also lingering longer, so
Mhm.
longer stays in destinations. You'll see our itineraries include more overnights. And then we're going to provide more exclusive access for our guests so that we will be able to do some surprise and delight and special moments along the way.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I'm
That's great.
Yeah, so I mentioned that we are starting our journey with the very first ship, May 31st of 2023, and she'll be
Mhm.
leaving from Barcelona. And you'll notice here there's 8 different regions that we're visiting in the first year of service. And we're not going to do just one inaugural voyage. So
Mhm.
many lines, they come out with a new ship and they do one inaugural voyage and they celebrate and it's great. And then they head off on their way. We were like, why not do 8 inaugural voyages? We're visiting 8 regions for the first time. Let's celebrate the fact that we're going to hit these regions and we're going to offer journeys in these regions for our guests. So we do have 8 inaugural voyages in each of these regions.
Mhm.
And unique to our brand is in this first year, we're not going to home port in any one destination. So what that means is we're not going to sit in Barcelona and do 10 and 11 night sailings round trip for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Mhm.
We're going to be heading into various different regions and destinations. We're not going to repeat ports of call either.
Oh, I
So
love that.
really,
Yeah.
so Kathleen,
Yeah.
your guests, you could join us on a 365-day world journey if you would like, from Barcelona all the way
Yeah.
to Vancouver.
Amazing.
Come
Oh,
on, come
wow.
join us.
Sign me up. I'm be right there. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So,
fabulous. I love that too, because so many of my clients enjoy back to backs and they don't want to see the
mhm,
same thing over and over. And
yep.
I love that. That's fabulous.
Yeah, so our itineraries are built where we've got the average length of itineraries just over 8 nights in
Mm.
length. And those journeys will then have the functionality to be combined back to back, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
Kathleen. And when you do combine a journey back to back, you do qualify for a discount
Mhm.
because we love having you on board for extended periods of time. In fact, we are, as we go to market, also letting you know that we have the ability to do these grand journeys. So you can do with us 40 nights in the Mediterranean, 48 nights in the
Oh,
Mediterranean, 44
amazing.
nights in Northern Europe,
Mhm.
58 nights in South America. And again, we're not repeating ports of call, we're not home porting, so you're seeing new destinations, but you're also moving at a little bit of a slower pace. I did neglect to mention that we have thoughtfully included sea days. So on a 7 night itinerary, we're going to have 2 sea days for sure, so that you can relax and really enjoy what the ship has to offer.
Yeah.
We are going to have 9 different culinary offerings on board. So and that's all included.
Mhm.
Actually, 10 if you include room service. So all inclusive, things like an exclusive chef's table, a Pan Asian restaurant, a Mediterranean restaurant. We haven't announced our culinary partnership. We have hired a team of chefs. So we'll be evolving and telling you more of our story along this journey with regard to our dining experiences. Also, our entertainment is going to be handled differently as well. We don't have one single entertainment venue on board like a theater. Traditional cruising would have you go to the theater for if you're first seating or second seating and you see the same show.
Right.
We are going to have multiple entertainment venues throughout the ship, again, giving those guests choice
Mhm.
and spreading them out so that they have space and they have privacy, feeling more like a cosmopolitan city and experience. We want guests to have that choice and
Mhm.
feel more like a vibrant city, something that we're doing a little bit different. I know you've cruised quite a bit, Kathleen, and I'm
Mhm.
sure some of your listeners have as well. Think about it. When you go on a cruise, typically the bar and the lounge is in one location, and then the restaurant is in another location.
Mhm.
Where when you go out in a city, you go to a restaurant, they typically have a bar where you can enjoy a cocktail before your dinner and kind of set the mood and the ambiance.
Mhm.
We're going to have that on the ship. We're going to
Oh,
have some of our restaurants will have bars in the restaurants to give it
mhm.
more of that city vibe. Feels like you're
Yeah.
really going for a night out on the town. And
Yeah.
speaking of a night out on the town, we are casual. We are not going to be the stuffy, formal luxury. We are definitely casual, country club style. I know I mentioned working wealthy. Who wants to wear their ties when they're on vacation?
Exactly. Yeah.
So make sure that our guests are relaxed while they're on that journey. So I thought I'd kind of share with you where we are on our journey really quick. So we announced the brand back in June, and we had a steel cutting for the very first ship. In late July, we announced our inaugural sailings, all of our inaugural journeys, all of the suites and the residences that I've shared with you today. We actually have a second ship that we cut steel on in October. So we have 2 ships under construction in
Yep.
Italy.
Wow.
And we have been Only working with travel advisors. So it's really important. We have really built our model on working exclusively with travel advisors, and we recognize the importance of travel advisors to ensuring that our guests come to us knowing what we have to offer, that the travel advisor has really done a great job of matching the cruise experience, the journey experience with the guest. So we've really leaned in, and some of our travel advisors made waitlist bookings with us early on this summer before we even had a booking engine to book with. And just recently in November, some of those waitlist bookings were converted to actual bookings.
Fabulous.
We,
Wow.
so if you want to make a booking, you need to connect with Kathleen, because
Absolutely.
right now she's the only way you can do it.
Yep.
We will be opening in January for public sale, but we don't have a direct call-in line. We have a website that you'll be able to see and explore a little bit more about us, and do maybe a little studying before you talk to Kathleen. Or and Kathleen can also connect with one of our journey ambassadors or myself to help answer any questions that you might have. And then, as I mentioned, our first ship is going to be delivered in May of 2023. Now, there will be a lot more of our story to tell between now and then, because we do have, like I mentioned, our culinary experiences we'll be announcing here shortly. Later in the spring, we'll be talking more about our entertainment options. We'll also be talking about our destination experiences. So our shore excursions are fantastic, and they're going to be offered in 5 different levels, from the very basic type city tours, but in smaller groups. We'll never do bus loads of 40 and 50. It'll always be smaller, 20, 25 guests maximum, up to the very, very bespoke things that you can't do with anyone but Explora Journeys. So look for that to be forthcoming. And then also spa and fitness is going to be a huge part of our story. And we want to make sure that we're sharing that as well. So that will be forthcoming when we talk more about the brand as well.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
that's a little bit about what we've got going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Kathleen, did you happen to come up with any questions or anything that comes to mind for you?
Not too much. No, I think you explained things perfectly. It's amazing. And I really, really love the deep immersion. We were chatting about that before. I consider myself a traveler, not a tourist. And I think that kind of resonates with your journeys, and giving my clients and myself, when I come aboard, because I know that I'm going to want to do that. Absolutely. To just really learn about the area, and not to go to places that are so North Americanized, but actual cultural places.
Well, and I think too to point out to that experience, Kathleen, you just mentioned North Americanized. So we are a European luxury lifestyle brand. We do anticipate that about 40% of our guests will come from North America, but then another 40% we anticipate are going to come from Europe, and 10% from the UK, and then the rest of the world. So we will have a very eclectic mix of guests on board. And obviously that will fluctuate based on the destination that we're visiting, just by proximity. But that really lends to your vacation experience as well, because I think you learn from your fellow vacationers, your fellow journeyers, if you want to call them. And it really lends to that more of a cultural experience than what you might have on a line that is solely sourced from North America, or very heavily sourced from North America. So I think that that experience is unique too.
Yeah, that's great. I love meeting new people and just chatting away with new ones. And I still have, people that I met on other cruises just over dinner that we've chatted and talked to, and we still connect, and it's great that way. The internet is wonderful with that. And I think, it's sort of the same way when you're meeting people. We're from Canada, and you go and meet someone from the UK, and you learn about their culture, and you just get to know them, and that's incredible.
Yep. In fact, you and I met on a ship a couple of years ago. So, and we've kept in touch. So that's really good.
Absolutely.
We're a prime example.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's great. It's nice. Yeah, exactly. It's nice to meet new people, and to make new friends along the way.
For sure.
And, I just really feel like now I understand more with your journeys and where you're going with your brand, and it's amazing. And I love how it's so calming and serene, and it's just, it's beautiful.
Yeah, we really want to try and get people in that ocean state of mind. Our parent company is MSC Group. So that's Mediterranean Shipping Company, and it is the largest privately held shipping company in the world. And this has been a passion project of theirs. The family is the Aponte family, and they have always wanted to have a luxury product to share. And they have very deep, deep, deep rooted history in maritime travel, over 300 years. And the ocean really has driven everything that they have done, and it runs through their blood and their veins. So just by that backing and that support, that this product is going to be a success. And we hope that your guests will come on and enjoy the journeys that we take them and hopefully get them in that ocean state of mind.
Yes, fabulous. Thank you so much for putting all that together too. That was
Oh,
so
you're
great. I
welcome.
appreciate your time. And I hope everybody has a great week. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this week's cruise chat with Aimee from Explora Journeys. It was really, really nice to see how they're doing things differently, how they're not necessarily like a cruise line, but a journey destination. And I think that's super amazing. I love how they don't repeat their itineraries, so you can do a back to back to back and never repeat something. Or you could just plan the whole world cruise and check out all those different destinations, which would be really, really fascinating as well. And also, as Aimee mentioned, you can contact me at info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com, and I can get you on board and I can get your booking before it's even out for the general public. So if you would like to jump the queue and if you would like to be able to get on board, reach out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com, and I will be sure to get you on the destination that you would fit you best, and the itinerary and a room that's perfect for you. Next week, I'm going to be meeting with Oceana Cruises, and we're going to be going over some of their amazing promotions and some of the things that they have, and also just to discuss some of their itineraries as well. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel. A new video comes out every single week. I meet with a different cruise line every week. So if you're subscribed, you don't need to wait for me to announce it on Facebook that a new video is live, and you'll see it right away. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week, everybody. Goodbye.